Hey, paper lovers. There is really no easy way to say what I need to get off my chest, so I'm just gonna say it. I'm struggling. And realistically, struggling is not even close enough to the right word. I'm floundering. My business is not making anywhere near enough to continue paying the bills, and I don't know what else to do about it at this point. This shouldn't really be a shock to anyone. I did tell you guys at the end of last year that things had gotten really tight and that small businesses were really hurting, that I hadn't been bringing in an income for LPA for a long time, but it was even worse than I let on. I've taken on new debts. I have opened up new 0% APR credit cards. I have let go of my customer service assistant. I have cut subscriptions. I have done everything in my power to try and bring in new revenue. I have tried advertising. I've tried shifting platforms. I even started a Patreon, and it's still not enough. I want so badly to make it to August of 2026. That is when the lease on my space is up and when I could kind of like neatly package everything up from LPA into like a tidy little bow and we could just move on with our lives and live happily ever after. But as it stands, I might not make it to the end of the year. And that is insane to me because, to be totally honest with you, I did not see this coming. Struggles, sure, but not being able to pay my bills? Never. I actually distinctly remember when I first told my mom that I was going to be asking for a divorce. I remember her saying to me, "But what about LPA?" And I said, "Ma, that is like the one thing I am not worried about." Eating those words now. I said, business has been really steady. I have been making more than enough to cover what I need for this lease and to continue paying all these bills. Not only that, but I have one of the most supportive customer bases ever. Still do, by the way. This is no shade, no tea. And I also said, "Ma, I am so confident that if I build a third space where people can come and craft and hang out, they will come." I was so confident on all those three things. What I hadn't accounted for was the fact that the world was headed for a recession and the fact that the planner community was headed for oversaturation and the fact that groceries were going to start costing more like luxury leather goods. I also hadn't accounted for the fact that I had been hustling and grinding on LPA for 8 years with support. And while it wasn't the happiest of marriages, the household responsibilities were being taken care of at least 50% of the time, if not more. I didn't realize that me doing everything on my own at home was going to mean subsequently that I was going to have to do less with my business. I can't grind for 10 hours straight anymore. I've got a dog that needs to walk, and I've got to feed us both, which means I'm going to have to cook. Ugh. And I know right now there is someone sitting at home like, "Girl, those are just basic life skills." And you're right, they are. But I didn't have them. And so I've developed them, but I didn't even have the forethought to know that once you develop these skills, it is going to take you out and away from your business in a way that it hadn't previously. Being responsible for 100% of the cooking, the cleaning, the bill paying, the breadwinning, doing 100% of that, it's forced me to not be able to give the same 150% that I was giving to LPA. And make no mistake, small businesses, entrepreneurships require 150% all the time. I really do not believe they are even sustainable without some level of support. So LPA is getting 100% of the energy and effort that I have to give, but it's not been enough. Also, it hadn't occurred to me that it was going to be so hard to have a physical space in addition to having the online business. Because honestly, they're both equally hard jobs and could be jobs on their own that I now do both poorly. And with my 100% that I have to give, I'm giving something like 80-20%, with 80% going online and 20% going to the in-person stuff. When I first opened my business, I was trying to do it kind of 50-50, but I quickly realized how far off the beaten path my business location actually is, and it is near impossible to get people to show up for paid workshops, let alone the free meetups that I offer every single month. It's really only been in the last 6 months or so that I have developed a local community of crafters that is showing up consistently. And the behind the scenes truth of all of that, embarrassing enough as it is to admit out loud, is I have abandonment issues. Thanks, Dad. And listen, loneliness is just this evil bitch where the longer you spend time alone, the more dire and sad that time you're spending alone feels. And so my in-person business has been incredibly depressing. Short of the days where somebody does actually come in, I am very isolated and it has not been good for my spirit. Beyond all that, can I be so fucking for real with you? I did not see y'all sticking with that Tomoe River paper for as long as you have. Like when the Hobonichi craze took over in 2018, I thought, oh, okay, cool, this is this new thing and it's gonna be here and it'll be gone tomorrow like every other trend. Instead, I have been requested over and over and over again to create some sort of hardbound fountain pen friendly booklet. And I have to keep saying, sorry, I can't do that. Number one, I really do not like that paper. It, for me, feels like Bible paper and I've got religious trauma we haven't worked through yet. So for me, it's a no-go right on just from the paper perspective. But beyond that, the thing I have prided myself, the thing I have said is the key selling point, the thing that makes me different from every other person in my industry is that I make everything in-house by hand. Yes, I have machinery. Yes, they are industrial sized machinery, but it is made in-house. Nothing is manufactured. And I do not have the funds to invest in hard binding machinery to do that type of binding. It's just not something that I could do or even really want to do. I think there is something really special about the fact that every single page that leaves this building has been touched by my two hands. And speaking of the pages that leave this building, I do want to say they are thick, they are bright white, they are smooth. Your pen just glides on them. I don't really understand why my paper hasn't gotten the same love that the Tomoe River paper has gotten. And I know paper is all just a personal preference, but it has bamboozled me. It was not something I saw coming. And yeah, I can't help but think that missing that trend hurt me in the long run. So yeah, I do definitely own some of the responsibility for my business not thriving in 2025, but I also recognize and have been coming to terms with the fact that without private investment or startup capital, most businesses, most small businesses, are exactly one bad month away from not being able to pay our bills. We don't have safety nets, and if we do, they're often quickly depleted. Entrepreneurship, and especially selling in the age of content creation, is often a game of chance. Posting the right thing at the right time and getting the views of the right people, it's all up in the air. It is by luck. It isn't something that anyone can guarantee doing once, let alone doing over and over and over again. So where does that leave LPA? I have just enough money committed in my Patreon this month, thank you Patreon subscribers, to pay the bills that are dire, that cannot be delayed or paid in smaller increments. So October's kind of taken care of. And I do have 2 small new releases that I'm doing this month that hopefully will sell well. You know, I am really trying to be optimistic about everything that I produce. And then next month, I am going to be at Chicago Planner Conference. I am going to be in their vending hall. I am going to be surrounded by 600 paper lovers. So hopefully that is going to be a successful sales weekend for me. And beyond it being successful sales weekend or not, anytime I do those types of events where I am engaging with my customers IRL, my cup always comes out overflowing. So at the very least, I will be walking away with Chicago with the feeling that I can survive. Because right now, I'm a little iffy on whether or not survival is even possible. Right after that, it's Gold Friday, which you know, a huge deal around here. If there is the potential for it to be our last Gold Friday ever, you know that means I gotta bust out all the stops. I'm thinking gold body paint. I haven't committed to it yet, but we'll see. If we're going out with a freaking bang. You gotta know that about me. And then after that, it's Christmas. And if you remember from last year, the mill here transforms into a winter wonderland. They have an outdoor market. There is a ton of foot traffic around here, and I'm really hopeful that people are gonna be looking for gifts to put under their tree and are going to be looking for small businesses like mine to support this Christmas. I'm hopeful. I'm optimistic. I am not giving up. If I can survive through the year's end, I can then reassess on what the heck to do about 2026. But for right now, all I can focus on is surviving 2025. I am trying so hard though. I need you to know that. When LPA goes out of business, it will not be because I didn't try and fight until the very end. I continue to show up day after day, continue to release new things. I continue to create new content, more workshops. I continue to dance and show up, even though it has been so incredibly hard to do so. And I have cried so many tears in the process. Like, honestly, I've cried more the last 2 years, and like present world also involved in that. But truly, I have cried more in the last 2 years than I have the 7 years prior to that combined. I'm sad. I'm sad that no matter what, my baby is coming to its conclusion. I don't know what my life will look like without LPA, but I do know that I don't want to find out any sooner than I have to. So if you felt like I've been holding back for a while, I have, and this is why. I just please, please, please encourage you to shop small as much as your budget allows for it. Even if it's not with me, I am not the only small business that is facing this dire of a circumstance at the end of 2025. And truly, if you've been waiting to order something from me because I'll always be there next week, consider that I might not be. And I don't say that to be an alarmist or to make you panic shop or to be scary. I say it because it's true. And if I was my customer, I would want to know that. And lastly, just because there has been a real issue in the planner community lately with a business continuing to sell to their customers while knowing they wouldn't be able to fulfill those orders due to their bills not being paid with their manufacturer, I just want to remind you that I am a made-to-order operation. I do not sell what I cannot produce, and I don't work with manufacturers. You will never have to worry about your order not being fulfilled by me. I really find that whole situation so sad because we call ourselves community, and it's very not cool to mess with your community's money. Anyways, I really don't want to get involved in any of that. There are plenty of people that have more details on it. Please don't ask me for it because it's none of my business. I just don't want anyone to see my video and think that I'm following the same playbook, because this is not that. This is just me giving you the heads up that things are tough around here. And as much as I am trying to stay light and stay bright, I don't want you to not know the reality and the direness of the situation that I'm in. And also, I don't want you to be surprised when I do announce that my store is closing next year, because it is coming. So with that said, stay light, stay bright, stay dancing, and I will see you in the next video. I'm not going anywhere just yet, but thank you for continuing to support me. If you would like to support me in non-financial ways, obviously financially right now I really could use your support. But if you would like to support me in non-financial ways, liking, sharing, commenting, subscribing, telling a friend, that little bit of word of mouth that you can do really goes a long way in this day and age. So I really appreciate all the support you can give, and I thank you for being here all along. We are closing in on 10 years of LPA, and I would really love to hit that anniversary date in February of next year. So that's possible. In the meantime, stay light, stay bright. Catch you later.